Gentlemen, we are live in his house on this fabulous favor field. Flow Friday. Y'all don't hear me. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the day that the Lord has made. We're going to rejoice and be glad in it. If you're coming on, please do me a favor very quickly. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know it's Friday. Flow Friday. And guess what? We are ready to give you another edition of Game on the Ramon Preston Show. Please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody. I'm still congratulating all of our YouTube family members and friends because we are beyond the 4,000 subscriber mark and we are continuing to trend up. Probably 1,000 new subscribers every month as long as we continue to move in the direction that we're going. So please make sure that you share with family members, friends, co-workers, colleagues, neighbors, constituents, associates, people that you mingle with on a day-to-day basis. Let them know that the Ramon Preston Show is live every Monday through Friday, and this man of God is spitting game. So please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly, everybody. For those of you that don't know, let me start out by saying welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. I'm your host, Ramon Preston, and every Monday through Friday, we share with you information to help you properly start, structure, and scale your businesses, your ministries, your income streams, and your wealth building dreams. And all the information that we share on the Ramon Preston Show is an extension of our organizational enterprise. We have several key divisions under our organizational umbrella, and each of those divisions play a very important role with regard to the content that we share and the information that we provide. We have a consulting group that is designed for individuals, but more specifically companies, ministries, organizations who just want to have a solid infrastructure. We have a one-year business coaching program for individuals who want to start, structure, and scale their businesses or pivot in their careers. We have a university training platform, and on that platform, we have a world-class signature business and financial training program called the Blueprint Game Plan. So we got so many different angles, so many different streams and ways that you can connect to us to help you start, structure, and scale what it is that you're doing. And so I'm delighted because this whole week we have been giving you information that were really takeaways from two of our recent VIP workshops. So just in case you haven't had an opportunity to really listen to the show this week, maybe you haven't had a chance to really connect with us on a professional level, meaning that you may have never participated in one of our workshops. You probably never been to one of my masterminds. You probably never sat down with me and my team in a consulting session, a coaching session. I mean, you just see me on social media and you might just think I'm some internet guru. I want you to know today that the information that we're providing, the strategies and the services and the solutions that we're giving to people on a daily basis, they change in the game for people. I mean, we get these comments and we get this feedback on a day-to-day basis on how people's finances and their ministries and their businesses have literally just scaled. Some of them have doubled their income, tripled, quadrupled their income. Some of them have restructured their whole companies and now they're moving forward. People are winning, and that's what we want to do. Our ultimate goal is to live, to love, and to lead God's people, you, to the next level. And we do that in different ways. So be sure to stick around throughout the course of the show because I'm going to be dropping some hooks out there in the water. And I want you to bite. I want you to bite that hook because I want to reel you in so we can start getting you moving towards the goals that you have in your personal life, your professional life, and your financial life. But this week, we've been talking about different elements or components of holding companies. And we already have a question? Mm-hmm. All right, so y'all ain't playing. Where's that, YouTube? YouTube, I love you. I'm telling you, I love YouTube. Now, listen, hold up before I answer this question. We got 2 pages on Facebook that are streaming the show. We got my personal page, Ramon Preston, and we have our company page, Ramon Preston Enterprises. If you are on any of those pages, including YouTube, you need to let me know what city, state, country you're watching from. Put your city in the comments. And a lot of you from Facebook, you need to convert. We need to get you converted today. We want to get you saved. We want to convert you, okay? I'm proselytizing you right now. We want you to get converted. You need to come out of Egyptian bondage if you stuck on a social media platform that ain't nobody talking back. Ain't nobody asking questions. It ain't nobody tagging and trying to connect with you. We're building a movement. We're building a community. We're building a tribe. We're building a nation. We're building a generation. So if you on a social media platform watching me and ain't nobody talking back, ain't nobody asking no questions, they just lurking. We was having a session yesterday with one of our coaching clients, and I was telling her that basically you need to get converted to YouTube. Because I was telling her all we do when we go to Facebook most of the time is we just be lurking. We just trying to be nosy to see what everybody doing. Facebook has become like the local news for most of us. We just trying to see what cuz them up to. Or we type in somebody's name in the search, look at them and look at her. Look at him. He ain't doing nothing with his ugly behind. That's all we doing, we lurking. So if you on Facebook and ain't nobody talking because they just being nosy to see what Ramon talking about today, go over to YouTube. Go over to YouTube. We have over 4,000 subscribers. We have had in the last several months since we've launched this show, tens of thousands of views. I think we're approaching almost 200,000 views. We might have 150, something like that. So we ain't that far away from 1.68. Oh wow, 100. Oh, that's 100, almost 170. So we have 168,000 views on YouTube. That's a lot. It might not be a lot for some people, but that's a lot for us because of the type of information that we're sharing. So if you're on Facebook, I want you to at least at some point convert over, subscribe to our YouTube page, and go over there where people are at least asking questions. Because sometimes I be thinking, wow, what y'all over here doing? But I understand it. It's just native to the platform. Question number 1.
So your first 90 days, what must be done for your LLC once started? After, your first 90 days of
starting it?
Yeah, your LLC.
So the question is, what should you do in your first 90 days of starting your LLC? Well, I have a lot of things that I can tell you that you should be doing.
And it's a blueprint purchaser.
It's a blueprint purchaser? Okay. There are a lot of things that I can, let me see here. Can you pull that black folder in that blue folder? Because we just hosted a business coaching mastermind. Both of them, yep. We just hosted a business coaching mastermind, right? And we are preparing to host another business coaching mastermind. Y'all make sure y'all put that in the comments. I'm actually giving 2 masterminds away for the price of 1. They're $29.99. That's already a special. These masterminds that we host are business coaching masterminds, and they're generally anywhere from $199 to $249 per person. So what we did was we deep discounted these business coaching masterminds. They are free to anybody that's in our coaching program, but we've brought them down to $29.99 for someone who's not in our business coaching program. And on top of that, we are offering 2 masterminds for the price of 1. The reason why the reason why I brought that up is because if you want access to the information that we teach in our business coaching masterminds, that information answers questions like what we just heard. The question was, if I just started my holding company or my LLC, I got my paperwork filed, I got my business legit, I got my EIN, my articles of organization, I got my corporate seal kit, I got my bank account. Now what do I do? Well, in one of my business coaching masterminds, which is one of the two that I'm giving away for $29, and you can start training on this today, one of the sessions in my last one, I taught about the first 5 actions in business. I'm gonna really get in depth with that next month in August when we host our next business coaching mastermind. So my answer to your question, if you are a Blueprint Game Plan client and you've already started your LLC and you want to know what are the first things you should do, like within the first 90 days, I would say to take those first 5 actions in business. Okay, so I don't have time to get into all of it, but let me just give you an example what those actions are. Number 1, you need to filter and form your products and services. So that means you need to take all your ideas, all the things that you're good at, your core competencies, and you need to work on filtering them through your business and forming them into products and services. So for example, I know how to talk. I run my mouth all day, every day. Well, that's a skill. That's a gift. That's a talent. That's an anointing. That's a God-given ability that He's given to me. But it don't mean it's making me no money. So what do I have to do? I have to filter that ability to communicate and talk. I have to form it into a product. So it may be a speaking engagement. It may be a course that I teach. It may be a motivational opportunity. It may be some free sessions that I just provide to groups of people just so that they can see my personality and see me talk. But I have to package it. I have to at least form it into a product or a service. Step 2 would be to attach and add a price to your product and services. So you want to attach prices and add inventory. So that means, for example, I'm going to come and speak, but I might also have another product connected to my free speech where you can get a free session with me, or you can get a free pamphlet or ebook. So now I have to start taking my ideas, forming them into products and services, and attaching prices to them. So some of you that started businesses, you trying to figure out, like, what do I do in the first 90 days? If you have products and services that you know you want to sell and provide to the community, you need to make sure there are some prices attached to it. If you're a coach, what are your coaching programs? What are your prices? If you're a consultant, if you sell clothes, whatever you do, what are the prices and what does it look like if somebody wants to purchase it? Number 3, dissect and determine your revenue wants and needs. Now you got to figure out, how much money do I need to make in the next 90 days? If I want to make $10,000 in the next 90 days, what does that mean? I need $3,000 a month. Well, how much is that every month for the next 3 months? That's $3,000 a month every week. That would mean that's what, $750 every week. So every week for the next 12 weeks, I need to make $750. So how many products and services do I have that can get me to $750? You might have a $750 product. So that means you need to sell 1 product a week for 12 weeks to make 10 grand. So that's number 3. Number 4, you need to concentrate and craft your client profile and marketing campaign. So that means while you're starting to tell people about what you're doing, now you got to concentrate on who's your perfect client. Because you be around here dealing with scrubs who don't want to buy nothing. Girl, let me get that thing for the low. Come on, dog, look out for your boy. You got to do number 4, concentrate and craft your client profile and marketing campaign. And number 5, sell and scale your product, services, systems, and processes. So now you got to learn how to sell. Now you got to learn how to do what I'm talking about doing. You got to talk to people. You got to communicate your products. You got to share content. You got to give people a reason to do what I'm challenging people to do. That is to look in the comments and click some of them links and purchase a workshop a mastermind, a blueprint, or all of the above through our coaching program. That's selling. So that's what I would do in the first 90 days of starting my LLC. And I can make it even more simple than that. I'm gonna make it real simple. What's the first thing do I need to do in the first 90 days when I start my business? Sell something. I could have said that 20 minutes ago. Sell something. But I just want to show you, I don't just say sell something and not show you how to actually sell it. I literally walk you through the process of taking your idea, filtering it, forming it into a product and service, attaching it to a price, adding inventory, connecting it to a profile of a perfect client, dissecting the numbers to figure out how many of those things you got to sell, and then getting out there into the market and distribute it. So I walk you through that whole mechanical process as opposed to just say, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, how do I do it? I don't know how to do it. I need to know how to do it. I'm giving you the nuts and bolts of it. So I hope I answered your question. That was a long answer to a short question.
I mean, when you broke it down,
Wow.
we went around.
We went around 285. We went around 285, went to Rome, Georgia, shot over to Covington, hollered at somebody in Villa Rica, just went through Locust Grove and was like, you know what, let's see Cuz and Griffin, then come back to Buckhead.
And now we're here.
How did we get here? We made it back. We back in Buckhead, y'all. Hey, if you have any questions you want to throw at me, like spaghetti being thrown on a wall, please drop the comments or the questions in the comments, or you can just dial one of the 2 numbers or 3. We got 3 numbers. You can dial any number. Anytime you see a number in the comments and you want to text, I'm ready, you want to text blueprint, you want to text coaching, anything that you need from us that you hear me talking about, you can literally text that thing to us and we're going to respond to you to give you more information and to give you some direction. Okay?
Another question.
We got another question. YouTube. Thank you.
I turned my Facebook off.
Yeah, we turning Facebook off. Facebook on? Why y'all tripping? Like, y'all need to engage us. But listen, now we just announced it last night, but we now have on staff a full-time CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. Chief Marketing Officer. And you know what's so funny? You know what's really funny? Let me tell you what last night I was going to post something just congratulating you being our new Chief Marketing Officer, Executive Marketing Consultant. And I thought to myself, I was like, wow, this is one of the few times that the person who does the work actually has to post their own congratulations. Because she's the only one that's going to make it look like it means something. So that's something that you can put on the agenda. We want to publicly let our audience and let our community because I already know people are already trying to figure out, like, his stuff is looking different already. It looked good because you've been doing it, but it's like, wow, things are changing with him. It ain't because of me, but believe that. I ain't that good now. So, but again, we want to congratulate our Chief Marketing Officer, our Executive Marketing Consultant. We have one on staff, full-time, here every day, grinding with us. We are growing. Here we grow again. So I'm very proud of what she's doing, what we're doing. Here we grow again. We are growing with a big G-O. We growing, go, grow. What's the question?
Is a holding company the same as parent company?
The question is a holding company the same as a parent company? Yes, it is. A holding company, they call them parent companies. They also call them umbrella companies. And some people refer to holding companies as parent companies, umbrella companies, and even enterprises. So when you see the word enterprise or enterprises, it doesn't always mean it's a holding company, but sometimes, depending on how clear the owner or who put that company together understands the holding company, they will use enterprises to refer to a conglomerate of companies that are under that one company. But yes, a holding company is a parent company, which is an umbrella company, which is considered to be the top of the mountain of an enterprise. So thank you for asking that question. So for those of you that do have questions, please feel free to drop the question in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer whatever the questions are that you have. And guess what? I've been telling y'all all week, because we are going to have some new offers next week, and you can get in early on some of these offers, because the more people who sign up for our workshops, for our masterminds, for our live events, the more we have to adjust, meaning that when we get close to capacity, when those seats fill up, because seating is limited, right? When those seats fill up, we have to start either going up to what our regular price would be, or we have to close in-person seating down. And so right now, most of our live masterminds and workshops, when we host them, we're hosting them here at our headquarters around the corner from our suite in our Buckhead boardroom. And we typically host a maximum of maybe 20 people in that boardroom. Now, of course, virtually, you can have as many people as you want participating. So we can have 10,000 people streaming live during that event on our virtual platform, but in person, we're limited to at least 20 people, worst case scenario, maybe 25. And so for us to have our prices go from the average of $250 to $29, number one, we're cutting everything like by 90% pretty much, and we're putting ourselves in a position where we're not able to service other clients that may not really have an issue paying $250 to come get thousands and thousands of dollars worth of information. So you want to just take advantage of that. You know, I've been feeling good this week. We've been giving offers away. We've been offering 2 of our workshops, our VIP financial workshop and holding company workshop, the live virtual versions for $29.99. Both of those are available. You can get the link in the comments. And next week, we're going to really be doing a lot of talking about our upcoming mastermind, which is a little bit about what I just mentioned, answering that question on the first 5 steps in business. So you want to get in on this, because this next mastermind that we host in a couple weeks is going to be really, really good. It's going to be 4 hours of me deep diving. And I'm not going to just be teaching a whole lot of information on paper. We're actually going to be implementing certain interactive exercises that will allow me to break down and dissect the details of certain businesses that are in there and the operations of those businesses. And once we break them down and dissect them, we're going to put them back together to make sure that they're more efficient and effective. So you want to be a part of that. So again, all you have to do is click those links, or if you just have questions because you don't know which one you need, do I need the mastermind? Do I need the VIP workshop? Do I need the blueprint? Do I need coaching or consulting? What do I need? Guess what? If you text what you think you need or anything to one of those numbers, VIP workshop, you can text mastermind, you could text blueprint, you could text coaching, you can just text, I don't know, to one of the numbers. And we're going to help you know what you need to know. All right? So today I'm going to talk a little bit about managing a holding company, because that's probably one of the next questions that I get from people who start holding companies. Okay, well, now that I started a holding company, can you please tell me, how do I manage it? Like, what do I do with it? Because what you do with a holding company is not necessarily the same that you'll do with any other business, like a regular LLC that you started to cut grass or to paint walls or to renovate homes. It might be a different business system and structure, And that means it's going to be managed in a different way. So you can't just take one philosophy or one view of starting a business and running or managing a business and think that it's going to apply to everything. Because I always hear entrepreneurs say that. Oh, I knew that. Yeah. I know that. I know that. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. No, you don't understand what I'm saying. No, you don't know that. You're lying to yourself if you're not doing it and actually succeeding in it. It's better to just say, you know what, I really didn't know that and I don't understand that. So I need to lean in to learn more about it so I can actually do it the right way. So today I want to talk a little bit about managing a holding company. If you have a holding company, I want you to let me know you have a holding company. Can you type that in the comments? If you don't have one but want one, type in the comments, I want a holding company. If you don't have a holding company, but you want a holding company, you would like to run one and manage one, let me know in the comments that you do want a holding company. That's something that you might have heard about and you know that's what I want. I really want that for myself and for my family. If you have one, put in the comments that you have a holding company. I would love to know who has one and who wants one. I would love to know that. So
Xavier Walker want one.
Xavier Walker.
Mr. Burrell.
Burrell.
I think we have a consultation with him.
Okay, we got a couple who say they want a holding company. That's good. I'm very proud of you for even making that statement that you want one. That tells me, number one, that you at least know enough about a holding company to know that you want one. And number two, it tells me that you have put yourself in a position to pursue the right information. And like anything, just to kind of buffer this conversation, like anything, when you start listening to people who are talking about something that you know you want, it's natural, it's normal, it's just intuitive and instinctive for you to be like apprehensive, for you to pull back a little bit, just to wait and see if what that person is saying is legitimate. So I just want to make sure that while you're continuing to search and seek out the right information, that once you're ready to pull that trigger, if there's anything that we could do to help serve you and to continue to give you our perspective of it, just reach out to us and let us know. So if you want a holding company, put in the comments you want it. If you have a holding company, put in the comments that you want it. And if you would like for us to reach out to you, and if you would like to have more information about it, we have free resources too. It's not like we ain't got free resources. The show is a free resource. Our YouTube page is a free resource. But we have free resources, free lessons and free training on our university platform. We provide free consultations, especially for people who are serious and who just really sincerely want to know more. So if those are some of the things that you would like to at least be a part of while you continue to search and seek out the right information, just let us know and we'll make ourselves available to you. So managing a holding company. When it comes to managing the day-to-day operations of a holding company, as an organizational enterprise and as a business conglomerate, because that's what your holding company should become as you build it, as it continues to blossom, and as it starts to break out. I'm going to be teaching a little bit of that in our upcoming mastermind. But when it comes to managing the day-to-day operations of a holding company as an organizational enterprise and as a business conglomerate, you must integrate. This is so important. That's why I talk about it so much. You must integrate the top 5 corporate systems within your infrastructure. This is one of the biggest missteps that entrepreneurs make. I don't even know if somebody just caught what I did earlier. I don't see if I love talking, like yesterday when we was talking to that client. I don't want to just be calling people names out, but when we were talking to our client yesterday, she said something that was very key. She said, I watch you all the time, I listen to you, and I basically do what you say do. And that's why I'm where I am in my business. That's why I'm winning and moving forward. So if you were listening to me earlier, this speaks to what I live. Because a lot of people, they philosophize content. You might not even know what that means. They philosophize content, meaning that what they do is they take information that they've copied and pasted or Googled, they form some type of philosophy about it, some view, some minimal set of beliefs, and then they start talking like they're experts on it. They're thought leaders on it, but they really don't do it in practice. So let me show you how quick I just connected a real practice to a principle that I'm teaching. We just celebrated the onboarding of a new team member in our organizational enterprise who has assumed a corporate role in our company, the Chief Marketing Officer. So my point in bringing that up is, when you are managing the day-to-day operations of your holding company, you have to think about either filling those top 5 corporate system roles, or at least having them built out in your infrastructure enough so that you can identify with people who fit the criteria of those 5 lanes or 5 systems, corporate systems within your organization. My personal assistant, even though she's not operating in a chief role in terms of one of those 5, but she's actually under the umbrella of the Chief Executive Officer role. Why? Because as an executive officer, as a CEO, I needed a personal assistant who had the capacity to work for a CEO or an executive. But because I understood what I needed as a CEO, I was able to hire someone not to necessarily be a chief officer, but to work right with me, who is a chief officer. But if I didn't use these 5 corporate systems as a gauge or as a standard of practice, I could have hired a personal assistant who wasn't a personal assistant that could work for an executive. They may be a personal assistant that could work with someone else in a department, but that's a different type of assistant. So you got to use those 5 corporate systems or roles as a gauge or as a standard of practice to know what else do you need in that system. So if it's the 5 corporate systems that I use and I put them under the umbrella of my organizational enterprise, at least I can start from there to make sure if it's the maintenance person that I'm hiring, how do they reflect the overall structure of my organization? We just had that in our briefing this morning. How does the maintenance person reflect the overall revenue impact of our company? If we can't trace a role of somebody in our company back up to the top, which the top of the top should be revenue impact, then that person shouldn't even be working. Or if it's something that's missing and it's an issue, if we trace it back up, we should be able to see the trail to see this is why we need this position. So all this stuff that I'm saying to you is, it sounds like a little complicated or sophisticated, but it's really simple if you just keep working at it. So when it comes to you managing the day-to-day operations of your holding company, if you're managing it as an organizational enterprise, if you're managing it as a business conglomerate, if you're managing it as a solopreneur, you're not going to understand what I'm saying. If you're managing your business as a laborer, which means you don't own a business, you own a job, then that means you're not going to understand what I'm talking about. That means you got to lean in and learn more and develop the educational prowess and capacity to grow out of just being an employee who has a side hustle, or a solopreneur or independent contractor who owns a job. You have to elevate to a legitimate business owner or holding company asset manager who understands the practice of managing the day-to-day operations of a holding company, because they see that holding company as a organizational enterprise and as a business conglomerate. But when you do that, or when it comes to that, you have to integrate the top 5 corporate systems within your infrastructure. Each corporate system will require processes that allow 2 very important things to and from your holding company to your subsidiaries. So I don't even know if I'm gonna have time to get into the top 5 corporate systems and roles, but I'll at least talk about what each corporate system requires processes to allow. So we got 5 corporate systems that should be not necessarily filled within your company, because you might not be able to afford to hire 5 corporate executives.
That's a question somebody said over here on YouTube. What if you're just starting out and you can't afford to hire?
What the question is, so I'm hitting it right now, huh?
Yeah.
The question is, what if you can't afford to hire these top 5 corporate executives? That's why I didn't say corporate executives. I said corporate systems. You don't have to hire somebody to build a system. So even if I don't have 5 different people to hire, my personal assistant will tell you, like when I hired her to assist me as the CEO, it was just me and her. I was fulfilling all 5 roles. But guess what? Even before our CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, came in-house as a corporate executive, we hired her company to do the work to fill that space. But even before we hired her to do the work, we still had to do work that was related to the role of marketing, the system of marketing. It wasn't as good, it wasn't as consistent, it wasn't as polished, but guess what? It was getting done. So if that meant I was sending out, listen, I started even before we had an email campaign. I used to send emails from my personal email and just BCC. You remember those days? Mm-hmm. Before there was a MailChimp or email marketing, you would email yourself in the main email, and then you would BCC the other 40 people. Yeah. That's how I used to do it. When I first started my business, literally, I would email myself. I used to have an email, RamonPreston@bellsouth.net, right? So, and I still got that old email. I would use that email I would email myself to RamonPreston@bellsouth.net, but I would use info@RamonPreston.com, and then I would BCC the other 40 people I wanted to send this message to. And this was before email campaigns. I didn't even understand them. This was before having templates and having pictures. It would just be words. Hey, everybody, just want you to know, blah, 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 blah. Let me know what I can do. Here's my number. And guess what? It wasn't even a business number. It was my cell phone number. I just made I just did my voicemail. Hi, you've reached the voicemail box up. As a matter of fact, my wife still has that on her phone. If you ever call my wife, guess what you hear? Thank you for calling the Preston team. We are unable to come to the phone right now, but if you would leave your name, number, and a brief message, someone will return your call. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Beep. Blessed day. Well, guess what? I wrote the script for that. That was like 15 years ago or longer. I wrote the script to that voicemail and made her, because her voice is so polished and professional. I was like, honey, because I wouldn't have sounded like that. Hey, what's happening? This Ramon here. How y'all doing? Like, she was like, honey, we need to sound like real bougie. And she still has it. So my point is, you might not be able to afford these 5 people, but you want to have the 5 systems in place. You want to be able to build an infrastructure out. I'll be talking about this in detail in our upcoming mastermind, but I'm going to talk about it from the perspective of how you build your business. How basically it's kind of like the 3 phases. I'm going to be talking about how your business needs to be built, how your business needs to blossom, and then it needs to break out. So you can't try to break out until you blossom, but you can't blossom until you build. So the building phase of these corporate systems, it's really not you having the people. It's not even meaning that you got software or technology to be in those spaces. It's at least you having an idea of, if I had 5 people, what would they do?
It's questions.
What would be their roles and responsibilities?
So, 2 questions.
2 questions. Come on with it.
Now, I don't know if you can tie these in together. One of them was like, it's another way. Is there another way I can have a successful company starting out without having to hire people? And then another one said, can you just name the 5 systems since they're, or is there any time
Okay.
to go in depth with it?
Okay, I might have a little time. So question number 1 is, can you have a successful business
Company starting out
without hiring all these people?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm the poster child.
Yeah.
I'm the poster child.
And then
I'm not gonna make any announcements, but what I can say is our organizational enterprise is definitely $1 million business, way over $1 million business. Okay, but what I want to attach to that statement, because I'm not trying to just flaunt no feathers. I'm saying it to say that I started from nothing. Like, I want you to understand that. And I know sometimes it's hard to believe that, because guess what? When I was at the bottom and when I would hear people, some people might have been lying, but I knew some people was telling the truth. But when you hear people say, oh, I started out with nothing. I ain't have nobody. I ain't have no help. I ain't have no support. I didn't know nothing about emails. I ain't know nothing about VoIPs. I didn't know nothing about CRMs. It's hard to believe it when you see where they at that time. But when I tell you, when I started out, when my wife and I started our business, we knew nothing about CRMs, email marketing. We knew nothing about websites. We knew nothing about HTMLs. We didn't know anything, nothing. We knew nothing about nothing. Everything that we have done, everything that we have done in our business, I'm telling you no lie, I have had to take thousands and thousands of hours to figure this stuff out. All the way down to, what cables do I need in order to stream live through a camera? How do I mic up myself and run it through a computer? What type of lighting do I need for my show? What type of chair? Can I use a regular chair, or is it a special chair that I can be flexible to move? What colors do I wear that look better for me and make me feel like all this stuff? What batteries last longer? You know, like, do you put batteries in the camera, or do you have to buy a charger? I'm talking about like itty bitty little stuff. You know, how do we get a banner? How do we get, like, what kind of paper do you use? I'm just giving you the truth. So my point is, you can be successful, but you got to have such a level of grit and determination. But I'm telling you, on the top of that list, beyond grit and determination and strength and no give up, you need information. You need information. You need data. You need education. You need training. You got to have that. And listen to me, the people who work around me will tell you, you gonna learn something every day around me. You gonna learn something, because every day I'm learning. Every day I'm trying to figure out something new. And it doesn't happen over time. Think about it. Just this week, we started a new software, didn't we? A whole new program, which is really complicated. Because I done talked to a few professionals this week, and they like, oh my God, it's exhausting to try to figure that one out. But I'm thinking to myself, yeah, not when you show up every day and just keep putting a little work in. So we're way better today on Friday than we was Monday. We talking real sporty today. We pulling boards out. Oh, this the workspace, this the boards, this the columns. But guess what? Monday we was like, okay, so what is that? Oh no, that ain't it. Delete. You just gotta keep. But you're learning. We're watching YouTube videos. We're in the learning center. We're sharing information. So that means you got to put yourself in the ecosystem. That means you got to do that. But you can succeed without all this stuff. Trust me, there are pictures of Jeff Bezos sitting in a garage, I think, or in a small little office in front of a desk with a banner hanging from his desk that said Amazon.com. When he was just trying to figure out how can he send an email out in the 90s to offer books to people who had to have an email in order to see it. And now he's the richest man in the world with $1 trillion company. It's possible. Because I'm telling you, I know it's possible. And it's possible for you. So I hope I answered that question. You don't need all those people to do it.
And
Second question.
The other one, he was like, he wanted you to name the 5 systems. If you can just name the.
Okay, I'll name the systems right now.
There's no time, and since there's no time.
Okay, so here are the top 5 corporate systems. I probably won't be able to get into all of them. Maybe we'll revisit the conversation Monday, especially because I'm gonna be talking about some of this in our next mastermind. Absolutely. So here's what you probably want to do. If you're not a part of our coaching program, of course you can join the coaching program and you'll have access for all of our masterminds. You come to those free, either virtually or in person, and you get our Blueprint Game Plan. You get our university training program for free. But if you just not ready to join a coaching program for your business and finances yet, at least spend the $30 and get access to the mastermind so you can watch the 4-hour mastermind that's on there and have access to the next one that's coming up. So you can already learn that information, be prepared to ask the right questions to the next one, and it's going to really help you. You talking about you'll be a different person in a month just from that. But let me give you the 5. The top 5 corporate systems. Number 1 is the executive system. The executive system is for executives, chief executive officers. So the executive system is attached to the CEO. Number 2, sales systems. The sales systems is attached to the CSO, chief sales officer. Number 3, marketing systems. The marketing systems are attached to the chief marketing officer, CMO. Number 4, accounting systems. They're connected to or attached to CFOs, chief financial officers. And number 5, administrative systems. They're attached to the COO, the chief operation officers. Those are the 5. Executive systems for CEOs, sales systems for chief sales officers, marketing systems for chief marketing officers, accounting systems for chief financial officers, and administrative systems for chief operating officers. And guess what? Guess what? Those same 5, they work in churches and nonprofits too. The only difference is some of the words are different. Like you might not use sales in a church, but there is a role for somebody who provides the best service and solves problems and make exchanges in a church. It's just not a salesperson. It may be a chief servant officer, a chief service officer. It may be somebody who provides or who oversees the services that you provide for your donors and for the members of your church. But these are roles that have to be in churches. These are roles that have to be in nonprofits. That's why I try to show you that it works on both ends. And if a lot of churches and pastors listen to somebody like me, that's why we're going to be rolling out a new program for churches and nonprofits in a couple months. But if you listen to somebody like me, it ain't about your church trying to become a $1 billion entity. It's about your church making a better impact. And my personal assistant will tell you, when I was pastoring that church, we started that church from the ground up. Everything everybody did in that church wasn't there a position for it. It was a role. You had to sign. If you wanted to be a volunteer in an area, you had to sign, but it was all on paper. But then we had software like Planning Center, which is similar to what we're using right now. And this software gave us an opportunity to schedule events. We were able to see what the youth were doing and make sure it wasn't conflicting what the praise team was doing, and it wasn't conflicting when they had the soup kitchen going on and the food pantry, and it wasn't conflicting when the prison ministry was going. It required systems. It required processes. And we had chief officers. We had executives. We had team leaders. We had team members. We had volunteers, and there were some people getting paid. So it's the same thing. We had independent contractors that were hitting and missing with certain things. And guess what? We were able to build a successful church. And I was able to resign after 12 and a half years and appoint my wife as the pastor and move on to what my role was next in our organization, our nonprofit organization. And they successful. They wealthy, they healthy, they blessed. They debt-free, because a lot of that, of course, God. We already know that spiritually. Like, nobody questions, oh, you ain't getting God no glory. Come on, like, for real? We're not talking about the spiritual side of it. We're talking about, like, the system side of it, the operational side of it. So I'm going to probably have to come back Monday and talk about that. But I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, it was like looking forward to building with the new.
Okay, praise God. So again, I mentioned each corporate system that I just mentioned, those 5, they will require processes that allow 2 things, synchronization and separatism. So that's going to be very important when you're structuring a holding company, to have systems that are able to create processes or have processes that allow your organization to have synchronization and separatism. So while certain things need to be separated within your organizational enterprise, they also have to be equally synchronized. So they're different, but they're the same. That's how it has to flow. And these have to be systems. Okay? So it sounds complicated, but trust me, me and my team, we're doing the work to simplify what most entrepreneurs will never be able to mathematically calculate and understand. So for many of you who are at the stage of just trying to get started, I just encourage you to get in, whether it's through a workshop, a mastermind, our online virtual training program, or our coaching program. If you just get in now and just step by step, learn a little bit here, learn a little bit there, watch a video here, watch a video there. Over the course of time, you'll be listening to me saying, oh, I know what he's talking about. I know what the 5 systems are. I know what the processes are. I know how that works. I know how he do the math on certain things. It starts becoming normal and natural. So then when you're ready to make a certain power move, it's easier to make the move because you've already done your due diligence and you've built the muscle. You've been working on the muscle. It's not like you're going to listen to me and then like in 8 days, ta-da, your whole business is put together. It don't work like that. As successful as we are, as much as we've done in our organizational enterprise, we're just newly, we're just newlyweds when it comes to certain things we're marrying into our business, into our ecosystem. But guess what? It's a process. We still got to learn. We still got to grow. So if there's anything that we can do for you, if there's any questions we can answer for you, I want you to look in the comments. Even if you don't call, just send a text. Whatever the question is, you can text that question. If there's something you want to know more information about, whether it's our workshops, we have 2 workshops that we're giving away for the price of one. $29 workshops, almost 10 hours of training on holding companies, tax strategies. They're called VIP workshops. In the comments, you will see a link to those VIP workshops. You can get access to both of those workshops for $29.99. I don't know if those offers are going to be available next week when we're on here with this show, so you want to take advantage of them now. We also have our mastermind virtual training courses that you can take advantage of. You can purchase both of them for $29.99. So basically, if you click the mastermind link, you're going to get access to our current mastermind that we've already hosted. You'll be able to watch that whole mastermind, learn all of what I'm talking about. And then you'll also be able to use that same portal so that when we host our next mastermind live on, what's that, August 21st, you'll be able to just log in, click go live or start meeting, and you'll join us for those 4 hours. And you can get that for $29.99. And again, we have Blueprint Game Plans. That's our business and financial platform that we use to train all of our people, even our coaching clients and consulting clients. People that we consult, there are certain things we teach them or teach teams, and we push them to our platform to learn about that, whether it's about tax strategies, whether it's about structuring a business, whether it's about financial literacy. If it's some topic that we're trying to teach our clients on and help them with, we help them, but we also send them to the platform so that they can learn about the thing we're helping them in, so they don't have to repeat the same mistake. So feel free to give us a call, text us, let us know what we can do to serve you. I gotta go. I got a meeting today, and we got a very productive weekend ahead, so we can prepare to have an amazing Monday when we return for the show. So I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for your time, your eyes, your ears, your attention, your brain space, for just listening to me run my mouth and rant for an hour, 5 days a week. But we do it to help you start, structure, and scale your businesses, ministries, income streams, and wealth building dreams. Till Monday, love you. Have an amazing weekend, and let us know what we can do to help you.